Hi everyone, my name is Mary. I'm the Executive Director of Green Learning, and I am so excited to welcome you all today to our second live event this week where we are going to demonstrate the construction of a solar oven. Today's event is part of our attempt to honor Science Literacy Week, which runs this entire week. It's a Canadian celebration of science and science literacy. And we're really excited to be able to present this demonstration for all of you today. We're hoping that we can inspire some educators and other folks out there to learn how to build and cook in a solar oven. And so I'm really excited to have the opportunity to do this today and to talk to everybody who's going to be joining us. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about Green Learning first, and I also want to go outside and do that because it's such a beautiful day today, unlike yesterday when we were doing this. And so we have our solar oven already outside. We have a model that we've already created just because we were so excited about taking advantage of the sun today. So Green Learning is an environmental education organization that has an office in Drayton Valley, Alberta, and we have an office in the beautiful city of Kitchener-Waterloo, Ontario. And we focus on climate education, energy education, and moving all of us in Canada along to a green, clean economy. All of our programs are STEM-based, so they have a strong focus on science, technology, engineering, and math. And everything that Green Learning develops is free and it's open source. So our experiences are free to participate in, our modules are free to download. There are no paywalls, so we encourage you to go to our website, www.greenlearning.ca, or to reenergy.ca, and to look at our resources and to download them and use them and tell us what you think of them. So I'm just outside. Today is a beautiful sunny day. It's actually getting really hot and humid, and I wanted to start off today kind of backwards with a finished solar oven. I'm going to turn my camera around. So this is our solar oven that we constructed yesterday. We've got it propped up here, and we've got our cooking chamber down there with the chamber with a plastic bag around it because that traps in the heat, and our thermometer. I don't want to touch it because I think it's really hot, but I think you can see that the temperature is past 250 degrees right now. I will try to touch it a little bit. It's really hot. Out. No, I won't. So anyways, I don't know if you can see, but it's 250 degrees already, and we've just gotten started. It's over 250. It's almost 260. So that's really exciting because today we didn't even get it up past, or yesterday we didn't get it up past 100 or something. So I'm gonna go back inside and back inside to our office here in our boardroom. And I'm going to introduce you to our team. So we have, again, today, joining us, I'm going to turn my camera back around, Marcus. He's going to do the construction of our solar oven today. And Jamila is going to be doing some baking. I think we've got two exciting things. And we have one more special guest today, Tessa. Tessa is going to be telling us a lot about solar cooking. And she's got some fun stuff that we didn't have yesterday, so we're pretty excited about that. So, and I just want to tell the team, the oven's up past 260 degrees, so you are definitely going to be able to bake something. So that's really exciting. So anyways, I'm just going to, in case we don't have a lot of time, I'm actually going to go straight into talking to Marcus and Jamila about what we're going to be doing today. So I'll let them go.
I'll jump in. I'm Marcus Jinder. I'm the program director at Green Learning. I'm going to run through for you today. In the next 5 minutes, we're going to go through the basic tools and materials you need to grow a solar oven, to build a solar oven, and the food that you can cook inside the solar oven. So I'm just going to start by introducing Jamila and Tessa.
Hi everyone, I'm Jamila. I'm the communications manager here at Green Learning, and today I'm your chef for the day along with my co-partner Tessa, and she's going to be talking to us about some delicious stuff that she has here.
It looks like we've got some healthy stuff today. Yesterday we were making s'mores, which we're going to do again because everyone loves it, but today I think Tessa brought some real food. So we can see it there, but so maybe what I'll do is I'll just move back over to Marcus because we don't have a ton of time, and Marcus is becoming quite expert at speed-based solar ovens. So in a classroom, this takes probably about, I'm looking at my colleagues because we've done it before. 2 hours for sure. You can put the kids in teams and match them up with parent volunteers, but it does take about at least 2 hours. You want to leave a morning, and then by lunchtime, I think you can set them outside. That's usually how we do it. So we're going to let Marcus get started. He's got some pieces pre-cut here.
So let me just run through quickly the type of materials you can use to do this and the tools that you could use. This is probably the best sort of materials and products we have here. The aluminum tape is great for this project. The gaffer tape
How sticky is that aluminum?
It's fantastic, and I'll just show you how easy it is to work with.
Okay.
Peels right off.
Oh, yeah.
It's reflective. You can do edges and stuff. I'll show you as we get through.
Makes a nice pretty oven.
We want the large tin foil. You can get the sort of heavy grade or the lower grade. I suspect, and we've noticed that we get a slightly less wrinkles with the heavier grade.
Okay.
So maybe that's a better product than the lower grade. We have rulers and metal rulers and different cutting devices. Of course, I suggest when you're working with the class, we work with scissors. The box cutters are fantastic for cutting the box, and you'll need a metal ruler for that too, but obviously there's safety issues, so you know, you can sort of plan that out with your class in the most safe way possible. We use different glue. We use this glue or these sort of very safe and cheap glues that we can use to put it all together. They're fantastic. One of these will probably do about 2 solar ovens. And you know, the spreading of the glue is actually a little bit tricky, so we can use a brush we found quite useful, or you can use a putty knife or something slightly larger to get sort of a smooth glue type of situation. And I think that, we'll need the base. The tray, the cooking tray.
Right.
We have oven-proof bags, or so oven bags
for
food, putting
food
the food in so that it's separated. We've been using paints, different types of water-based paints to sort of coat the bottom of the trays, and we've actually found that a little bit tricky, and we found that our black art paper works even better, and it's much more easy to apply and work with. So at that, there'll be other things we can probably run through while we're building it, but I'll pass this on to the cooking experts.
I just want to, before I do that, I'm just going to mention, because I forgot to do it earlier, that we do have another team member in the comments section, and I forgot to mention Stephen is there. Stephen is someone who works with Green Learning, who's an e-learning expert and a teacher, and so he is in the comment section. He has lots of experience himself with re-energy. If you have any questions at all about solar ovens, solar cooking, climate change education, you can post them there. Stephen's moderating the comment section, and so pop those questions over to him, and he'll do his best to add links and other helpful things for all of you there. So anyways, I'm going to turn around and we'll talk to our team of chefs here today about what they're going to cook. So maybe I'll start with Jamila.
Yes, so
dessert first.
Yeah, sure. So there's so many things that you can cook in your solar oven. For today, we're going to be making a variety of things. First is s'mores, which is a great Canadian delicacy, very delicious. For that, I have my graham crackers right here. You can buy any brand; they're available in the grocery store. We have chocolate, which also goes in the s'mores. We have this is a brownie center chocolate. You can use dark chocolate if you would like. Or if you love milk chocolate, you can also use that as well. And this is the s'mores. I've pre-made some already that are gonna go in our solar oven in a short while. As you can see, they're neatly lined up piece by piece. First, you start with the graham crackers, then you top it with the pieces of chocolate, and then marshmallows as well goes on top of that as well. And then I'm just gonna cover this one right here, and then it goes into our solar oven.
Okay, so for everybody who's watching who's hungry, we're starting with dessert, but we're gonna move over now to our lunch, and maybe Tessa can tell us a little bit about what she's gonna make.
Yeah, so today we're gonna make one of my favorite foods, which is pizza. And I'm an adventure racer, so I spend a lot of my time in nature. And a lot of my adventure racing friends actually use solar dehydrators. So I also brought an example of what cheese looks like when you dehydrate it. So this is dehydrated cheddar cheese, and it's really nice and light and crunchy, and it's a great snack for when you're out in nature and out on the trail.
So that's dehydrated cheese,
Yes,
and they've dehydrated it using solar power.
This cheese, I'm not sure if it was dehydrated using solar power, but you can
You
dehydrate
can.
cheese
Okay,
using
that's
solar
so
power,
cool.
and any number of other foods. Fruits and vegetables are great as well, and sometimes people even dehydrate meat and make jerky. But today we're going to make pizza. Now the solar oven isn't hot enough to actually cook dough from raw dough, so we're using a pre-cooked naan bread that we've cut into pieces, and we're going to top that with some really lovely locally made tomato sauce. And then I like to use bocconcini mozzarella because it's a really nice soft cheese and it melts beautifully. And then we have some more gifts from the sun.
Yes.
Fresh tomatoes, basil, oregano, and chives from our gardens. So it's wonderful to be able to not just use the sun to cook, but also to grow your food as well.
Okay, that's awesome. Thanks so much, Tessa. I'm looking forward to eating that and wish I could share it with everybody who gets to see this video. But so we're going to go back to Marcus over here, who's already gotten started with the construction.
So we're going to try and do a fast build of a solar oven from beginning to end. So I have to cheat a little bit to get through all the different cutting challenges. But you can see the large panel here. Just kind of placing it on the board, trying to find the best fit. I noticed even if you work with a fold, you can use this tape to sort of put battens into the cardboard to hold it out if you need to. And then I'm just going to use the old panel here because there's two panel sizes, the large panel and a small panel. And so we just dismantled one of our older versions, and we're going to use that as sort of an easy way to measure it out. Of course, you're going to work with the instructions. Where they're...
Yes, instructions are important.
And so whether it be the size of the panels is critical, and the angle that they're sort of, cut on is really important too. So we're fudging a little bit today, but, you'll be working from the exact dimensions. You would then just sketch it out and then use either a metal ruler or scissors to cut them up.
Okay.
I'll continue to do that.
Speaking of construction plans and angles, we do have construction plans available on our website. It's actually on reenergy.ca. That's re-energy.ca, and I think Stephen's posting some of that stuff in the chat window there. And so you can find the construction plans there. We have construction plans for one version of a solar oven, but there's also links on our website to lots of different designs for solar ovens. So if you're a teacher and you want to do this in class with your kids, you can do Green Learning's construction, or we've had classes do 25 different kinds of solar ovens before. And so on the subject of angles, we also have another special guest here today. This is Kent. I'll turn my camera around here. This is Kent.
Hello.
So Kent is an engineer, right, Kent? And
yes.
So, and what kind of engineer are you?
I'm a mechanical engineer.
Mechanical engineer. And so I was going to ask you, because Marcus mentioned angles, two of the questions that we get a lot from teachers and students are, why do you have to have the tin foil so flat? So Marcus mentioned smoothing the glue down first and then ensuring you're using a higher grade tin foil just to get the tin foil more flat and shiny, and you want to have the shiny side up. That's another thing we should mention. Why is that important?
Yeah, so we're using the tinfoil to collect the energy from the sun. So it's important that the tinfoil is flat so that we get as much of the sun reflecting into our cooking box as possible, because obviously the more energy we get, the more heat we get. So if you happen to crinkle the tinfoil, what ends up happening is you're actually reflecting that energy outside of the box as opposed to inside where we want it.
Right. Okay, so that's really important. Another thing I noticed is that if you use the end of the roll tinfoil, it gets really crinkly at the end, so
yeah,
we'll save that stuff for home. So on the subject of angles, you can see that Marcus is cutting these on an angle, and when they fit together, they end up in a concave shape, almost like an upside down pyramid. And I wanted to ask you about that, because that's another important element of the design of the solar oven, right?
Yeah, for sure. So again, it just comes back to, we're trying to collect as much energy from the sun, and if you happen to have too steep of an angle, what ends up happening is you're not exposing enough of the surface area to the sun.
Right.
And if you have, if the angle is too much, then what ends up happening is you're just bouncing that energy out of the box, and you're not collecting that.
Okay. Yeah, so that's important. So I just wanted to see, Ken, if you want to come outside with me.
Yeah, let's do it.
We have the solar oven outside, as I mentioned when we started, and I'm not sure if everybody got to see that, but we're going to go outside again, and I'm going to surprise Kent because he hasn't seen this yet. But today, because it's hot and sunny, we actually have a high temperature reading on there. Maybe Kent can look at it and tell me what it says.
Right.
Yeah, you have to have sunglasses on to do this. That's another thing I should mention is if you're doing this with kids, make sure you get them to wear sunglasses. So what have we got there? Just be careful if you touch it.
So we're over 250 degrees.
Yeah, so it's like 260 something.
Yeah, 255, 260.
We might need to tilt it up a little bit because the sun's getting higher. So so that's awesome that it's getting hot. And I just wanted to mention something else, showing everybody. You can see there's at the bottom of the solar oven, we've got a chamber down there, so that's our recycling bin, but you can use a cardboard box. So that's where all the heat is getting trapped. And we've also got underneath the cooking chamber here, we have I don't know if you can see that, everyone, we have shredded newspaper. I'm letting the heat out. And the shredded newspaper is also a very important part of the solar oven design. And I'm wondering, Kent, if you can tell us why it's so, I'm going to turn it back around to you, not up to me, why it's so important to have the shredded newspaper down there.
Yeah, so we're using the shredded newspaper as an insulator. So, we've done all this hard work to collect all this energy from the sun. So what we're doing with the paper is we're trying to keep that heat inside the box and not let it out.
Right, so the longer you have the heat collecting in there, the longer it's going to stay warm because it's insulated. Okay, awesome. So we're going to let that keep warming up out there, and I'm so excited that it's actually getting hot today, which is very exciting. I'm going to go back inside. Okay, so maybe we'll check on the food. So it looks like everything's getting ready here, huh? I'm going to adjust my camera. So Tessa's busy making pizzas, and it smells delicious in here. The basil smells awesome. So the oven is now up to about 260 something. So that's in...
You can boil water with that, right?
Yep, you could boil water with that, and that's in Fahrenheit, right? So in Celsius, that's 100 and, I don't know, it's over 100 degrees.
Okay.
But that reminds me of another question maybe we can ask Kent before he has to go. So Kent, one of the questions we do get from teachers is this safe to do with my class? Because the solar oven's made of cardboard, which is paper, and then we've stuffed the chamber with shredded newspaper, and then it's getting really hot. So won't that just like explode into flames?
Yeah, so you probably won't be able to combust the paper into flames since paper has a combustion point of 450 degrees Fahrenheit, and as we saw, we only were about half of that.
Right.
So we probably won't get to the point where the paper will burst into flames, so it'll probably be pretty safe.
Yeah. Okay, that's awesome. So reassure the teachers out there that we have experts who actually put together the solar oven construction plan for us, and we've got engineers telling us that it's not going to burst into flames. If you ever do get it up to that temperature with your class or close to that, we'd love to hear that. We love hearing how hot that students have been able to get their solar ovens. So yeah, just let us know. We'd love to hear about how things are going. So I'm just going to turn it back on Marcus here. He's smoothing out the glue, and you can see he's using the paintbrush because that just we find works better than the scraper.
Yeah, so it's quite important to try and get as smooth glue application as possible, and the paintbrush really does seem to be the best at doing that. Usually we would have pre-cut foil, so that it would be a little bit easier. I'm going to try and just kind of manage that as we go. You can see how we do that. Looking for a nice smooth piece. And we got to make sure we got the right side. That's
right.
The non-reflective. That's the reflective. Place that so. Then we're going to just trim it with some scissors. Or even maybe a cutter. We'll use the scissors. And one thing I like about the metal tape is you can really clean the edges up. I really could use that.
So one thing that we found is the kids do love to work with the scissors, and they love to glue. It's a very crafty project for students. So if you're working in teams, some of the students might gravitate towards certain activities and others toward other activities. The kids love to name their ovens, so I would encourage, in the teams, they can give their oven a name. They can decorate it. The kids love to decorate it. So those are just some ideas from what we've seen teachers and students do in the past. I think Jamila and are getting ready to put their food in the oven. So maybe we'll just, you want to go outside,
Sure,
guys?
sure.
And
Yeah, we just have our pizza and the s'mores in the tinfoil tray that Marcus showed you earlier. And we have covered it with an oven bag. This is a Ziploc bag that you can get from the grocery store as well. And what it does is protects the food, number one. And number two, it traps the heat inside so it can actually cook the food.
Okay.
So we're going to go outside right now.
Okay, so this is exciting. And we just have the one oven out there, but I bet the tray's even sitting in the sun. The s'more tray might just heat up enough. Because it's a little bit like, you know how hot it is when your car heats up in the parking lot or something. Watch out, it's hot. So when you're in your car outside, it can really heat up. So we know how hard an enclosed space, how hot it can get. And so the solar oven is kind of acting even more so to direct the rays inside. And if we close up the bag a little bit, it's going to trap more of the heat in there. Okay. Ooh. Oh yeah, is it hot?
It's hot.
Yes. Is it melting the plastic? So we like to just sometimes we just punch that on the inside. But
On the
there's our
inside?
yummy food.
It's going to stay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Looks delicious.
Very exciting.
Okay. All right, so we'll go back inside because sometimes our connection's a little wonky out here. All right. And we'll check on what Marcus is doing with the, and Ken's still here too.
Yeah, I'm gonna take off soon though.
Okay, you might want to stick around for some pizza, or come back at least for some pizza.
Maybe I'll come back.
Okay, after the broadcast is over. So Marcus is still working on building this next solar oven, which we can put the other pizza into when it's done. And you can see the aluminum tape there it matches, so it makes it look prettier.
The thing with aluminum tape is it means that you can overcome little errors and little tears and the edges, and it trims up very nice. I think it gives you a more durable product if you choose to keep it around for longer than just 1 or 2 uses. And it is very easy to work with. You just leave. What's kind of good about it is it just peels off.
Oh, right. Versus the duct tape.
You don't have to find the edge all the time. You just leave the edge like that and take what you need.
And the duct tape requires scissors, and sometimes you end up just with duct tape kind of
Making a
everywhere.
mess.
Yeah, making a big mess.
Do you want to start showing how this would all fit together?
Yeah, maybe. I think Ken probably has to go, so we're just going to say wave goodbye to Ken. Thank you so much.
No worries.
Yeah, and we'll bring you some pizza.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Ken. Okay, so Marcus is going to do a bit of assembly here so we can see the oven coming
we're
together.
going to be using some older pieces here. I'm just going to put that in for a second.
You can see how shiny this piece is compared to one of our first pieces that we did here, where we put the tinfoil on. We just squiggled it on and didn't smooth it out, versus smoothing it with a paintbrush.
Now you can see the difference there, right?
Yeah, and the reflection.
We still can do quite well with that, but not as well as the very smooth. So The pieces are going to fit together a little bit. You would usually have a couple pairs of hands for this, but
I would help you, but
you have your hands.
yeah. Oh,
Oh, there we go.
Good.
So this is going to go here. This is going to go here, like so. And then this is going to fit on the top. So we're going to do it one at a time. I find, again, pulling some tape already cut always helps. Start at the top and the bottom. To your side there. Thank you.
so these do fold up. If you, there's a way to get them to fold up because when they're open, they're quite big, but we do fold ours up and then you can just restabilize it later, which is useful.
So 1, 2, and then this panel would go here.
So Tessa, I was interested, you were talking about dehydrated food. That's really, really interesting. I had never actually heard of that before. I mean, I guess I've eaten dried fruit before, but is that similar?
You've probably had more dehydrated food than you realize. So any kind of jerky, summer sausage, salami, those are all dehydrated foods, and they're all very popular with backcountry campers and adventure racers and backpackers. Dehydrated fruit, absolutely. Things like raisins and apricots are great to dehydrate. And even sun-dried tomatoes is another one that people don't really think about all that much. Dried soup mixes are very popular.
Oh, yeah.
So pasta is a dehydrated food. Rice, all kinds of different
yeah,
things.
so more than what you think about.
Exactly. And the nice thing about that for when you're traveling around in nature is you can purify your water when you're out in the wilderness and then just reheat your food so you're carrying around food that's very lightweight, but also you can have food that's very nutritionally beneficial.
So while it's dry, it's lightweight because it doesn't have the moisture in it, but then you can rehydrate it?
Rehydrate it out on the trail. So you can
With
do everything
water.
from spaghetti sauce to stews and soups.
Oh, wow.
And there are so many different ways to cook food out on the trail that has been dehydrated.
Yeah, I never really thought about that. It would be very useful in case of a zombie apocalypse.
Absolutely, yeah.
'Cause-
That's why I do it, so
Right.
I'm prepared.
Right, I'm gonna think about that. And you know, if you've got your solar oven lying around, you could have your dehydrated food and your solar oven ready to go.
Yep, and food lasts a lot longer when it's dehydrated as well. It's great for
That's
preserving.
Yeah, that's really, really interesting. And so do you think a solar oven, what are the kinds of things you think we could do with a solar oven? Besides, like we've, you know, heated up food and we've cooked food a little bit. Some of the kids that have entered our annual solar oven challenge have, maybe I'll ask Jamila because she gets all the entries. We have an annual solar oven challenge. Maybe I'll just turn this around again, which I'll promote right now. Every year we offer the solar oven challenge where educators in their classes build a solar oven or 2 or 25 and they try to cook things in it, and then they send us their photos and videos and how they thought the experience went. There's a form on our website, and then we offer prizes for people who enter into the Solar Oven Challenge. And we love getting the entries from the Solar Oven Challenge, so I'm going to turn around to Jamila.
Yeah, we love getting entries from teachers and students and youth that have used the solar ovens and they've used it to cook outside. We've received different entries, and some kids have used the solar oven to cook bannock, which is a delicacy in First Nations communities. We've had some youth cook hot dogs as well, mini pizzas, such as we're doing today. We don't recommend you make it meatloaf.
Although we've had people try it. We don't recommend it.
Yeah, you want to make sure the meat is cooked right through to the middle. But we have seen teachers use the opportunity to introduce their kids to food safety.
Right, which is an important topic. And yeah, we've had teachers in culinary arts classes talk about that. I think we've seen, and Jamila and I have actually cooked eggs in a solar oven before, which was really fun. But it's interesting to think about some of the other kinds of things you could do with a solar oven. I don't know, Ted, if you have any other ideas to inspire people, do you think you could boil water
Well, you said it's at a hot enough temperature right now that it could boil water, so you could boil water in a solar oven. Some of the other things you could do, anything that would cook kind of at a lower temperature, so things like roasted nuts would be amazing in a solar oven. You can season them with different herbs and spices and roast them up, and that'd be delicious. I wonder if you could make popcorn.
Yeah, that's weird.
Maybe not hot enough. It would be a pretty hot day.
We're gonna try that today. We should try that.
Yeah,
That'd be so much fun. And you know, it would be so much fun to feed your guests like a snack and then say, oh, I baked that in my solar oven, by the way.
Yeah, just, it's no big deal.
Yeah, I grew in my garden and then I baked it in my
Solar oven.
So Mary, I'm just getting to the very end here. I
Okay.
just wanted to put the last finishing touches. The fun part, shredding some newspaper or even any recycled paper that you might have in the household at school. Fluff it up because the insulation comes from the fluffing of the paper. We're using these larger trays. We usually recommend, and have found very good effectiveness with the the six bottle wine boxes that you can get at the LCBOs quite often, and those are fantastic for just putting the base into, and they fit perfect. This one we're using as an aluminum tray. We would then, you can see how that pops in. You can see how the tray we would get black paint, or you can see where the food is, how the black paper is in there. Then a plastic cover of some sort. In fact, so if we just took that and put it, I'll try not to.
We can set that one outside and get it started.
Well, I put it into the other one because it's probably a little bit better. But
Okay.
You could bring the other one in, or
Yeah, we're gonna go
we
and
could put
check
this one
before
up.
we sign off for the
Yeah.
day. 'Cause
So this
I'm
one-
seeing-
Could go here, like so.
Yeah, we're gonna try. I'm not tall enough to. There we go.
And
Yeah.
that gives you a basic idea. Now, I would tape the base up, again, using either the gaffer tape or the
Right.
aluminum tape, just to sort of put it, and I guess the other thing that's really important to remember is that usually it's gonna be at an angle. So if you're taping this base into a box of some sort, you can tape it in at an angle,
Okay.
so that it's sitting more like that.
You just don't want the air escaping out of the
You just have to
chamber
make
in the
sure that
bottom.
it sits
Okay.
flush, and then you seal it up at the bottom.
Okay, awesome. So you want to go outside with that, and
Let's do
maybe
that.
our cooking team
Absolutely.
can all we can all go
Yeah.
outside
I'm
and
just
turn
gonna-
around and we'll.
Food. Or should
Oh
I take the
yeah,
whole thing?
yeah. Let's bring the whole thing. We'll put 2 out there. So we're just about at the end of our time here, but I want to go outside one more time and see if our cheese is getting melty or anything like that. Well, I think the s'mores are.
Oh, the toppings are melting right off the pizza.
Oh, are they really?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
all
yeah,
sliding
they're
down.
Sliding down.
We'll just put them back up. It looks like that after you eat it anyways.
So it is hot enough that the toppings are sliding off. I can't see the temperature because
I'm going to just move this out of the way, and you can grab the temperature there. It's 150.
I think it cooled down because we
Added food to it.
Yeah.
added, and I think the angle, you have to keep adjusting your oven with the angle of the sun. And the sun is now, it's changed direction. So
Also,
so we'll just,
the temperature probably will be a lot hotter in here than it will be outside of that.
That's
too.
true.
Right. So you're going to lose some sort of information if you take it outside of the center of the.
yeah, right down inside the chamber, it's usually pretty hot, and we don't ever put our thermometer. The thermometer for us is because we want to see what temperature we're getting to. But that looks delicious, and so we are going to maybe go back inside where our connection's stronger. Jamila, if you want to
I'm
pop
going to
over.
bring this one.
Okay, and then we're just gonna about a few more things and tell you about some events that are coming up. So that's in 30 minutes approximately how to build a solar oven, a solar cooker, and that actually works, where you can harness the energy of the sun to cook food, and it's a really great educational experience for kids. This one is showing. This is the other solar cooker, and it's completely taped into the bottom there. So you can see how sturdy that is. So anyways, we hope that you enjoyed this little tour of the solar oven module that Green Learning offers on reenergy.ca. Stephen has put lots of links in the comments there, so you can check out. I think there's links to our construction plans, links to the solar oven challenge and in the forums related to that, links to the list of other construction plans. And I did want to just mention again, the solar oven challenge wraps up at the end of May, but you can register now, and you could do it now with your students, and then you can send in your forms, and then we announce all the winners in May. And it's a cash prize, $500 cash prize, and two $250 cash prizes that are available for the solar oven challenge. And so anyways, thank you. I just wanted to say thank you to our sponsors for this event. Green Learning was so lucky to receive an award last year, the Award for Innovative Education offered by Underwriters Laboratory, which is UL, it's a safety company. And so we're very, very pleased to be part of that amazing team and amazing family of people. And also to NSERC, which is the National Science and Engineering Research Council of the Government of Canada, who sponsored today's event and in honor of Science Literacy Week. And so we're so grateful to them for today's event and the other solar oven webinars that we've been able to do, and also for a new series of modules that we're going to be offering next year called Wild Weather, about extreme weather and how climate change is affecting extreme weather. So that's very exciting as well. So big thank you to NSERC and to UL for their continued support. And I also want to say thank you to all of our team members, Stephen on the comment section, Marcus, Tessa, and Jamila. And thank you to all of you who watched the video, and check out all of our other videos available on YouTube. Like our page on Facebook to get notifications for future events and future modules coming out. And we hope to see you soon. Take care, everybody. Bye. Okay.